Caribbean. And so like those similarities were really interesting to me. As I'm driving around Puerto Rico, I'm talking to a friend who's at home. Like, where like I was on a call and like they could see outside. And it's like, you look like you in Nassau. And I was like, yeah, like the outside looks a lot like there. Like we don't have like mountains and stuff, but very similar like trees and plants and stuff that make it feel like home. Seeing like an iguana running around, right? Like the climate, like when winter came around, I could be outside, I could go to the beach. That was good. Love Puerto Rican beaches. I mean, beautiful.
And I love the one in Bahamas.
Yeah, like what I love so much about the beaches here is like all the rocky formations where you can see like the water like change the place over time. I think those are really cool, and like walking along them and being able to look out, like being on the cliffs and stuff. That's really cool, and like I love that. So the place is very welcoming. The people is very welcoming, and you can't help but feel at home no matter where you're from. I was talking to the co-volunteer here, Jack, and as we're like exploring now, like Puerto Rico has like every like geological like landmark you could think of, like mountains, like desert, or
We
like
had everything.
beaches. So you could feel like you've traveled the whole world just by taking the ride around the island. And yeah.
Okay, this is a tricky question and really, really important question for me. Do you think you've been in here in Puerto Rico for 1 year doing voluntary in a school in Puerto Rico? Do you really think that a Puerto Rican students, any Puerto Rican student, can get the opportunity to get the Rhodes scholarship one day?
I absolutely think that. Absolutely think that. I believe that to be like 100% true. The students here at San Antonio, I've worked closely with them, and I have done my part as a volunteer here to create global opportunities. So I think one of the issues that Puerto Rican people may consider a hindrance to that is that global perspective. So one of the first things I did when I came here, I had just came from working at Yale before coming here, and I was working for a summer program that's like high school students from all over the world. And I like worked with those students. I saw how they connected with these people that were from Germany when they were from Kansas, or from Australia when they were from Ghana or Bosnia or something. And it's like they all got together and did really amazing projects, really well thought of things that were meaningful for not just themselves, but for like the entire world. And I thought to myself, this is the kind of thing that high school students need to be engaged in. And so I made presentations to all of the grade 10s, all of the grade 11s here at San Antonio. And one girl, there was a lot of people that applied. There was one girl that got accepted, and she's now going to be there at Yale University, right? And so like that's not far off from Oxford, and she's only in high school. And so I think absolutely a Puerto Rican get the Rhodes Scholarship. It's just a matter of opening and exposing them to that opportunity. And I'm glad that I was here this year to expose these students to that opportunity, because I remember I was sitting in a class with like my grade 11s, and I was just like, yes. And I told them like I got into Oxford, right? And everyone just went crazy. It's and then for the rest of that week, anytime I walked past like one of their classes, they start chanting Jervon, Jervon. And so I think they're excited about things like that. And if you can expose them to it, then some kid in there is going to be like, I want to do that one day. And they're going to spend the rest of their time working towards that. And one day they're going to get it. And so I think, yes, but there needs to be that connection of like, yeah, you can do it, and here's how.
Okay. But you think everyone is not the same thing this college if you compare that with a public school.
Right.
We have a bad situation in Puerto Rico with school.
So as a teacher here, going to different events, even before we really got into like school starting, we like met teachers working in like Luquillo and like at like different things, and they were telling us like, yeah, we're public school teachers, but work during the summer doing different things. And like, so we have this context of like, we're working in a Catholic private school, but that's not the case. And like I would travel with sports teams and stuff, and like go to different things, or go to like the National Honor Society events. And so you got to see like the differences between like here and other schools, and public schools especially. But I still think that the education system isn't necessarily like the content of the education system, right? The curriculum isn't necessarily the issue. It's how it's delivered, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have a really advanced curriculum, right? You can give the kids knowledge about all kinds of things, but none of that matters if you're just talking at them. Like if you have
Yeah.
a book full of information and all you're doing is this, that, and they're not taking any of it in. It's not that the information isn't being given, it's just that they're not able to receive
Yeah.
it because you're not doing your part as a teacher to help them in that. You know, they don't come born into the world knowing how to decipher this, this massive textbook of all this crazy information that they have. And so something that my co-volunteer started doing, since he was already teaching from like day one, English teacher, he started doing a question of the day. Something that to start off every single class to draw the kids in, get them interested in what's going to happen, right? When I started teaching biology, I did a fact of the day. So I'd start off with scribbling, drawing on the board of something, and like this cool fact. And so like then like after just maybe 2 or 3 days of that, like if I still had the old one on the board, you're like, where's the new fact of the day, right? And so I have to keep doing that, right? And then if I don't have their class that day, they may come during my lunch period, like, what's today's fact of the day? School closed 2 weeks ago. I saw a kid on Friday. He asked me what the fact of the day was. So, kids are eager to learn. They want to get interested, but you have to meet them halfway because they don't come born knowing how to do that. You have, as someone with the experience of, your lived experience, you have to be the one to pull them in and be like, hey, you should learn about this, you should learn about that. Here's what we're going to be talking about, and make it engaging because you're competing with social media, their favorite artist, their favorite TV show, and those are really interesting, right? We can attest, like we love Netflix, and so the kids do too. And if you're not competing with Netflix, then you're going to lose them to Netflix.
Jervon, after the 4 years, after you graduate, what is your goal? What Jervon want?
Mm-hmm. My goal is firstly to return home. I mean, in all of my studies, there's always this longing to be back home, right? The longer I'm away, the more I want to go back. And the reason that I want to take my knowledge home is because I know that I can do something really important for my people. And it would be a horrible thing for me to have that knowledge, have that ability, and then go somewhere else and leave my people stranded, especially in a crucial time where so many threats are coming up against us. And so I want to take my knowledge, my experience back home. I want to address social, economic, political problems, and I want to expose what are the underlying causes of those things. So our colonial traumatic past, our uncertain climate future, these are the things that are creating all of this tension. They're stressing our people out. They're causing them to move on to different areas where they're unhappy, and we're losing a lot of our culture, which is a extreme loss because as we progress and we have these more compounding issues, then we're turning to social media, we're turning to the Netflix, this and that, and our culture isn't on there. And there needs to be effort both to get our culture on there because that's where the world is going, but also to like hone in on what is uniquely ours and have people understand that the reason why we're trying to protect this is because we have something to protect. We don't want to lose this. We don't want to lose being able to go to the beach and have a great time. We don't want to lose being able to speak our own form of language that came from our resistance of colonial powers. This language was born of the fact that we didn't want to be oppressed. We wanted to mix in and try to still hold on to our roots from Africa or wherever, our indigenous roots. And that is something to be proud of and something that we should try to hold on to. But as all of these problems, the climate crisis, the economic issues, they're all compounding and they make people feel like, what's the point? And so I want to do something about that. That's my biggest goal. And the way that I plan to do it is through building community, centering youth, centering culture, and trying to get people to understand that we have something to protect. So let's protect it together.
All right. My last question, Jervon. What you take in your heart from Puerto Rico, the more import that you're gonna take in your heart for the rest of your life?
Two very important things. The first one, poco a poco. One of the first things that one of the monks, Randall, said to me, poco a poco, right?
Yeah.
This year has been a series of small steps that has become this huge distance between who I am now and who I was before I got here. And that couldn't have happened without day by day, poco a poco, little by little, trying to become better and better. The other important thing is yatoka, right? Understanding that life, you have to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
When there's time for fun, don't cut it short. When there's time to hang out with friends, enjoy time with family, share a meal, have another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep going and trying to, one, better yourself day by day, but also have that balance where you can enjoy yourself day by day.
All right, Jervon. I want to say thank you. I'm really glad. This is an honor for me that you sit down this couple of minutes with me. I'm really glad. I want to say thank you very, very, very much. And I want to see that change, okay? And all my eyes is on you. I want to see that change. I 100%. You're gonna do that change. You had just 22 years old, and you do a lot. And that's the stuff that people need to see. That's the stuff the little kids need to see in Puerto Rico. They gonna get opportunity the same way that you get the opportunity. So it's not just for presidents, you know.
Right.
They can be for someone in Iceland, like you, like me, like my son. And I want to say thank you to you for that. You know, it's
welcome.
not too many boys doing whatever you're doing. You do a lot. If I interview you, with all your stuff, we're gonna be here for maybe 5 hours, you know, because you do a lot. And I want to say thank you, like a person, like a human, because for people like you, we can get a future. Okay, so I want to say thank you, Jervon.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity. And you know, my English is not real good, but we made it. So thank you.
Good.
Thank you, people.